Hey, good morning. It's been a while. This is Daily Yap. I don't know what number. And today I want to talk about something actually pretty small. It's an observation on American English, or maybe English in general. So the observation is pretty simple, is that you usually can't tell if someone's like poor, middle class, upper class, or rich based on how they speak. Now, this might sound maybe odd because, like there's also like ghetto culture. So sometimes, yes, you can tell that someone's from the ghetto. But, taking that out of the equation, rich people don't sound too different from like, low class people. Like I met some people that have been like low class or doesn't have like such a good situation. And then I hear Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, like the richest of the richest. Or maybe other bougie people. And they don't really sound so rich. I know that there's been some analysis about like the way they laugh or things like that, but once again, like for the most part, you cannot really tell the difference, which is not actually the reality here in Chile. In Chile, and I feel like in other places of Latin America, but I can speak from my experience here, you can pretty quickly tell if someone comes from money or not. So I won't make the effort to talk like a flaite. Flaite would be low class and kind of ghetto-ish. But I do speak normally as a cuico. Like people listen to me and they're like, yeah, we can tell that you're cuico. Cuico being like upper class, like rich kid, I guess. And my dog's following the birds. And besides like how it sounds, because how it sounds is not really important to the equation, I think that the fact that you cannot differentiate between those people makes a huge impact in society. Because what happens here in Chile, at least, things are pretty segregated when it comes to social class. Like people from one part of town, that go to certain schools, they speak a certain way, and it's so easy to tell that they actually belong there, or the other way, right? That they don't belong. And I don't want to say like most people, but like some people don't give a shit, like me, and some people really do care. Like I definitely listen to girls, guys say like, oh, he talks flight, like meaning that it's a bad thing. And that's just like a consequence of the deeper reality of Chilean society, which is that we are really segregated. Like people, there's a lot of like classist people, and that not only goes up down, that also goes down up. Like there's some people, with a lower class, with a worse situation, that they have resentment towards Cuico just because they are Cuico, and upper class again. And those groups, like lower class and upper class, they never mixed, like never, like almost never. Yeah, sure, there are the outliers, but if we're talking on like a more social scheme of things, like a social view, that doesn't happen. That doesn't really happen. And that in turns makes the whole society more segregated, because then you don't have shared experience. You don't have quote unquote friends on the other side. And that's something that in my time in America, which wasn't that long, it was like some months, I realized that it makes it so much different, right? Like we were going to the park and we were playing volleyball, and I couldn't tell if someone was well off or if someone was like really struggling. And I think that's refreshing, like once again, myself coming from a country where people can tell that I'm from one class or the other. And sure, sometimes they'll just, receive you with open arms, but also sometimes people are going to have preconceptions about you. When when I went to the park and realized that, I couldn't tell if someone was like loaded and other guy was like broke, that felt refreshing, because instead of putting preconceived notions about how these people are, you just go and interact with them. And that's, I mean, like once again, that's huge. I think that it's hard for me to like communicate how strong of an influence that is in a society, because you guys, well, I'm guessing that most of the people that listen to me are American. Maybe I'm wrong in that. But that's huge, That's huge because it allows for upward mobility and like truly inclusion. And not having that is more of like an issue, because you can tell that sometimes people don't want to hang out with other people just because of how they speak and from what class they are, and then all these stereotypes become like confirmed, yeah. But anyway, so I just wanted to make that observation. I think that, oh look, there's my dog. I think that not having that separation in language, it's a huge thing. It's a thing that should be appreciated. And coming back to Chile and noticing that also happens with people from the countryside. They do speak differently. And it's not like in Texas, like how people have the Texan accent. But that doesn't tell you about social class. It just tells you that they are from Texas or like the South in general. So, well, anyway, it's something that I think I really appreciate about American society or American English. And this has been Daily Yap. I'll see you tomorrow.